Shalom, everyone, from Northside Park, Pittsburgh, PA. Dawid here. Just got through eating some pretty good food here. Had a couple of cups of chili and a piece of pizza. Now we're waiting for the main course because there's someone else supposed to show up around 1:30. Anyway,
What time is it?
Abba's providing for our needs, and without us having to pay a dime once again. So I pray that everyone. So when you live by faith, things will just come to you or seem to come to you as you do the will of our Heavenly Father for His kingdom's sake. So that you would say, well, if everyone were living like you, how would you live without? How would you get no food? How would you get food? How would you get clothing and shelter? And what did Messiah say? Consider the lilies. They neither toil nor sow. I mean, they're covered with more beautiful. They're more beautiful than Solomon's garments, he says. And of course, the sparrows, he feeds them very well. And some would say, well, now they're fed with some of the food that people eat these days. But there are berries and seeds that they still could be eating. But everything's under a mind control spell these days, and birds aren't eating the berries like they used to, especially in the cities. But Father's still caring for them. Just because people had to use money to get some of the stuff that we have does not mean that we're relying on money. Truth is, when war breaks out, many storehouses that the enemy has been hoarding to himself will be open to us because there will be no one to man them. They'll have no way to protect them. It says the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. Granted, that means ultimately the new heaven and earth is ours.
Look, the leaves are falling. Show some leaves falling.
So I'm going to see what I can do here because there are leaves falling behind me. You can see those leaves falling behind me right there.
Some of them are still green.
So,
there's a mix of green and yellow right there.
Yep. We got a whole mixture of different colors out here. We got green, we've got orange, just the fall colors. And some of them are still green, which means that some of these trees are partially confused, I believe, because of the electromagnetic frequencies being played through 5G+. Also, they've been dusting the air for years, so some of these trees have serious deposits of probably graphene and who knows what, and that's why I believe many of these trees are dying. And then the electromagnetic frequencies hit the graphene and it fries the tree. China, it's far worse. In fact, they've turned up their 5, 6, 7G up almost completely, and people are actually running to the hills. They're running to caves to get out of the heat.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, we'll take them for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
More of it.
Yep.
More of it.
And so, yeah, China, they're burning up with their 5, 6G plus. I mean, it's so hot they're trying to go barefoot and it's burning their feet. It's causing trees to burst into flame or smoke. Just think of what's going to happen. I don't think the United States is going to be able to get that far because they're going to be bombed before that happens, which is going to take out all their electromagnetic. It's going to take out the electromagnetic infrastructure that would enable that to happen. Much of the United States is going to become very wilderness-like. And that's where many believers are going to be hiding in the United States. And similarly in Russia and China, there are places where they're completely free from all that junk. They haven't. I mean, their cities are frying like eggs in a can.
You got to remember the 2008 Beijing Olympics. The 2008 Beijing Olympics, where it was on NBC, and they were showing how Beijing was just one big environmental hazard. Everything they had to do for the Olympics was completely fake already. There was barely, there was starting to not be an environment left in Beijing in 2008 when they had the Olympics. And Deborah Tavares has continued to say that there's really no true environment left. It's all manipulated.
It's all manipulated.
It's all manipulated.
Some of these things that some of these things, there's a guy on YouTube here. He's kind of screwed up with his doctrine because he gets some of his words from Yahuwah through movies. I highly doubt he's using Satan's ministry to do that, outside of exposing their network of lies. I don't remember the name of the channel, but the guy is talking about how some of these choppers and aircraft that they send to spy on us, they're actually holographic images. And I actually had an experience like that when we were out preaching here on the university. There was a chopper flying over us, and I tried to get a picture of it. It didn't show up on the camera. So, go figure.
Oh, you're imagining again. Get the guy on psych med.
So
that's happened to me too.
So we've got serious. I mean, even some of the people that are around us, and we need to understand something about holograms. You've ever watched the movie Transformers? These holograms are real entities. They're not just a figment of your imagination. They are real entities. A third of the angels fell with Lucifer. Not Lucifer. His name's no longer Lucifer. He's no longer son of the morning. He no longer bears that in the kingdom of heaven. He no longer bears that name. This includes every class of angel that ever existed, that still exists. You had Watcher class, and that was mentioned in Enoch, and the people and the angel, those angels mixed themselves with the seed of mankind. Then you have Seraphim, which is basically what the devil is. There's at least 3 of them that fell with him. He's also called a cherub. There's cherubim. Then there's Ophanim. These are the chariots of the fallen angels. And they can take any form, Autobot style, transformer, military, aircraft. They can even take the form of animals, birds, and 4-footed beasts and stuff like that. And then you have Nephilim. These shapeshifters, they can do anything they want as long as the Father allows them to. Most of their power is starting to be lost because they don't have enough people worshiping them directly. Granted, they can still use our iniquity, that if we're living in a state of sin willfully, they can use that for a time as and it's not. The action enables them to drain the soul of a man. It's not this mysterious iniquity force. No, the iniquity and the sin enables them to harvest the souls of men as their energy source. It says, "Of the dust of the earth you shall eat, and on your belly you shall go." It's not talking about slithering on the ground, though some of them do that. Snakes do that. The snake never had legs, people. On your belly means you're going to have to eat things. You're going to have to eat and consume things and take it into your belly, which will then, by metabolism, give you energy. Now, granted, the fallen ones have multiple ways to harvest that energy without literally using teeth, though there are plenty of cannibals among the Nephilim, their offspring. Soon they will be forced into physical bodies that they cannot escape from, and they will be forced to have to eat physical flesh, not just the soulish energy of man. But they're shapeshifters. All of them are. Every last one of the fallen ones are shapeshifters. And they're using technology for the most part to do it now. And so, fear not what's going to come on the earth. It must come to pass so that the righteous are exonerated and the wicked are destroyed without excuse. So, have faith, establish His word in your heart, and go out and preach the good news wherever you're at. And give it up. Give this world up. Give your living, your physical livings up for the kingdom's sake, and He'll feed you. He'll take care of you. It's a promise. Without money, He says, "Come, buy of me gold and silver without money, and food and water without money." Money's not necessary. The blood of Christ has redeemed everything back to Himself, but mankind, his crowning steward, has to be in alignment with that perfect will first. He didn't just come to save the souls of men. He came to save His whole creation through mankind. And to save mankind, He had to put Himself into the body of a man, be born of a virgin, and live a sinless life and die the sinless sacrifice and example of what we're supposed to be. So shalom, shalom, Shabbat shalom, Irene peace, Dawid signing out.